I have no idea how this is going to work out tonight because I have no idea what's going on because I just showed up here and didn't say, what's going on, everybody? We're live.
And Colton's taking the reins. We're going completely off the fucking tracks.
That's scary. That's dangerous. What's going on, everybody? This is Bridging the Geekdoms, where we talk all things geek, be it comics, television, movies, Xbox, video games. I don't know. I can't think of words right now. I worked too long today. Anyway, what's going on? With me, we got Colton, we got Jerry, and myself, Slav. So, what's up, you two? What's shaking?
It's a little bit shaken when I pee a little bit, but you know, more than 3 times you're playing with yourself.
It depends.
It depends. Yeah, you know, it's been a long day. I'm giving myself 5.
Just depends on how I feel, man. What's going on, Jerry? What's new with you, man?
Oh man, grinding, work, been having a blast with some comics this week. X-Men 97 has been great, but I don't know if you saw some of the things I added to the docket. We got some big stuff to talk about tonight, boys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see too much what's on the docket. I started putting, I don't know why I had stuff about Tom Brittany kind of saying, I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to Batman. I had Xbox stuff that's going down, and I can't find the notes for that, so I don't know what happened. But
well, that's why when I opened it, I was like, "Are you sure you put notes?"
Yeah, I it was so light, and that's why I tried to add as much stuff as I could think of.
Yeah,
but
I wonder if I put it somewhere else.
I think we're going to be on some of the topics for a while tonight, anyway. So
yeah. Maybe we'll do the main topic I wanted to do. Maybe we'll do that next week when I'm not a complete disaster, because there's a good bit to talk about here. So I think we'll be fine.
Oh,
I think so. What's going on?
Hunter, they will not take my driver's license. I'm not allowed to drive in real life, let alone in GTA 6.
That's crazy, because I remember, I'm trying to remember, like, I remember, I went to pick up GTA 6, and not GTA 6, GTA San Andreas, and my local mall did the thing at like 7 or 8 p.m. And my dad took me, I was in middle school, and my dad took a picture of me in the line, and I always mess with my mom. And my mom is like, not super liberal, but like establishment type liberal, like CNN, but she's like casual. She doesn't really pay attention. But, she was like, oh my God, it looks dangerous. You need to come home right now. And I still mess with her till this day. I'm like, Mom, if someone else said that, you know what they would say, right?
Yeah, they can't take what I don't have.
No, I mean, it's kind of tough to ask for your driver's license when you're buying it digitally. I mean, they do have ratings. I don't know where you're from, Hunter. Are you from America? Like, there's ratings on video games, and technically GameStop is supposed to follow that. Like, if a 10-year-old kid walks in to buy Grand Theft Auto, he's not supposed to be able to get sold that game. So, but then it comes down to, how do you check the IDs when it comes to digital downloading? I could believe this with the more European countries, and maybe even somewhere like Australia, down under. Like they love to put these ridiculous rules and regulations and restrictions on getting things. But in America, not here in America. Nope.
Yeah, we don't care. We'll take your money as long as your parents there and they say it's okay. A newborn can buy GTA 6.
As long as there's somebody over 18 there. Yep. No problem at all. All right, let's get into some things, because there's a good bit to talk about. And the one thing that popped up earlier today, and I gotta actually do this.
Whoa.
Whoa.
I'm on the bottom this time.
He's a bottom. I don't even, this isn't the right. There we go.
I'm still on the bottom.
So Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con is coming up in like 3 days or something. I don't know. It's like in a week or so. And people have been freaking out like, is DC going to be there? Because Marvel's going to be there. We know Marvel Studios is planning on going there. There's a rumor that they're going to announce some kind of secret movie or project that nobody's known about, which I'm pretty sure is just going to be they're splitting Secret Wars into 2 movies because they realized, oh, we can't film another 3-hour movie in 4 months and get it out. Like I think that's the big thing there. But DC, there was no news of them showing up. Well, apparently DC will be there with lanterns. New lanterns footage, this coming from comicbook.com, will officially be shown at Comic-Con. The DC show will have a panel on Hall H at San Diego Convention Center on July 24th. In attendance, they're saying Kyle Chandler, Aaron Pierre, Garrett Dillahunt, Purna, whatever, and Chris Mundy and Damon Lindelof and Tom King, the showrunners and creators of the show, will be there as well. So that's cool. So we're going to have some DC there. But besides lanterns, that seems like it's going to be it. James Gunn says the DC Universe's absence from Comic-Con comes down to cost, not the state of the industry. He says, I think it's a case-by-case basis. It just depends on the situation. Sometimes you really benefit from going to Comic-Con and spending millions of dollars and selling an idea, especially when you have a great trailer. But other times, I post a picture of the cover of the screenplay on Instagram and for $0, and it's equally effective. It gets just as much press. So you have to kind of always ask yourself, what is it that's worth spending money on? I believe this is actually an older quote from James Gunn. I don't think this is new. Maybe it is, but I think I've heard him say this or something similar to this before. I'm a little upset that DC isn't going to be there. And this goes back to what I was saying even last week is DC, James Gunn's been in charge now essentially 4 years. What are we? We're in 2026, so 4 years. It'll be 4 years this November that he will have been in charge of DC. And he has not gone to a San Diego Comic-Con convention. Like he's just not like that's ridiculous. First of all, number two, the fans want to know what's coming, and they're refusing to show and highlight any of that. And that's a scary thing. Look, I trust James Gunn, and I think people misunderstand whenever I sit here and criticize him on things that I don't think he's doing well. That doesn't mean that I'm hating on him, that I think he's failing, that I think the DCU is a failure. No, I am somebody who's open-minded to say, hey, this is good, but this is bad. You're allowed to be that way. You don't have to be, oh, I'm fully here. No matter what they do, it's awesome. And I think this is just a bad idea. I think they need to be there. I think that they should. If they don't, as of today, have things lined up that they could go on stage and say, hey, here's what we got planned, I would be officially worried. I would be. If they're 4 years into this and they don't have anything much to talk about post Man of Tomorrow, that's a little bit worrisome. What do you think, Jerry?
First of all, I think in regards to not having a Comic-Con presentation, they obviously do. They're showing lanterns, and I think that's the right move. I don't think it's the right move to show Man of Tomorrow stuff yet, because Man of Tomorrow is a full year away. Like, you don't want to show stuff now and not sustain the hype. People forget that. Like, people already forgot how much they loved Superman last summer. You think if they show something from Man of Tomorrow today, and then everyone goes to see Spider-Man Brand New Day, and 2 weeks later, people are going to be thinking about Man of Tomorrow? It's you burst the bubble too soon. And Lanterns is right around the corner. If you go, you show lanterns. But the other factor here is they're being acquired for a ton of money. They can't just go spending millions and not have a good justification for it. I really think that, especially considering the kind of debt Paramount is going to have, I think that's all the more reason for them to bring back DC fandom. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think people understand this. DC fandom still isn't cheap. That costs a lot of money to put together. You have to pay a lot of people to put it together, the production, the people that you have come on the show, everything like that. But it's definitely not as expensive as doing a Hall H presentation. And I think DC fandom would be a wise business strategy going forward for DC. But I think that we're in a really weird spot with DC right now. And, a lot of people are all or nothing. I've noticed I have a very sharp tongue. The way I criticize Zack Snyder had won me a lot of DCU fans on X. A lot of them stopped liking my posts because I've been somewhat critical of James Gunn. I'm still very positive about James Gunn. I posted recently, I'm not off the Gunn train, but that's not enough. If it's not 100%, people don't want to support it. Whatever. The thing is, I think now people are looking for reasons to criticize James Gunn in the DCU, and I think it's a really big problem. I think they really messed up with Supergirl this year. I haven't seen it, but obviously it wasn't well received by a lot of people. The Lanterns rollout, again, I also didn't really have an issue with a lot of that, but I'm not crazy about trailers to begin with. I never really have been. But a lot of people didn't receive it well. So what can you say? And now people are upset about the DCU. You have some people who aren't even. I saw a kid that I follow, and he always gets hit tweets, and he even said today, you know what, restore the Snyderverse at this point. And he's not a Snyder guy. So I think you have a lot of people that are just looking for reasons to criticize the DCU. And there's a lot of bad faith actors, but there's a lot of people that are becoming bad faith actors on that. And I think it's a really big problem. Lanterns needs to be a W. We talked about this last week. So I hope Hall H delivers. I think it's going to be really difficult for them with Hall H this year, considering what Marvel's bringing to Hall. I mean, this is a banner year for Marvel. Marvel has 2 movies that each might cross $2 billion in box office. Like the level of hype Marvel has, it's one of the biggest years they're ever going to have in terms of hype and box office. And the DCU came out really soft this year, and it put themselves in a bad spot, and it doesn't help.
Colton, you got anything?
Yeah, I mean, the quote's not wrong, though. Like, yeah, it's a staple for comic. Like, you think of your big ones, you think DC, Marvel, stuff like that. But really, in today's day and age, you can post something on social media and it gets the same reaction. You just don't have a live crowd in front of you going, yeah, and you save millions of dollars. So, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not. No, he's not. And I know Donovan said this statement was from last year, by the way. And again, I stated that earlier that after I read it, I was like, I think this is an old quote. But here's the thing. A couple things to push back on both of you a little bit. Number one, they also have Clayface coming this year, and Clayface isn't going to be shown there. I mean, Clayface is what, 2 months away, if that even.
Yeah. I think it's October.
Is it October? I can't even remember. But I mean, still just a few months away. It's not that far away. They need to start hyping that up. After the bomb that Supergirl was, they need to start hyping up their next film. And I know Lanterns is the next project in the pipeline, but you're not going to get the full general audience watching an HBO Max show. Like, you're just not. What you will do is you'll get more audience and more money for people going to the theater to see Clayface. So that's a miss right there. Number 2 or number 3 or 4, A or B, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's see. You guys talk about cost, and I know even James Gunn sits there and talks about cost. It cost him nearly nothing. I won't say nothing, but not a lot of money for him to put together a nice little graphic, and then for him to go out on stage for 30 minutes, him and Peter Safran, maybe get David Cornsweet, so it's going to be a little bit of money. Bring your Superman out and just sit there and have a little panel where you talk about the upcoming Man of Tomorrow slightly. Just say, look, we're not going to say much because we got Lanterns and Clayface coming up, but I wanted to bring David Cornsweet out here to hype up the movie, and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. You guys, they talk about that for a little bit, and then maybe have a little questionnaire panel type of thing like they do with James Gunn. That kind of thing would be nice. And then he goes, you know what? I have one more thing. And they throw up on the screen just a list of projects that are due to come out over the next few years. That's simple. It's not having all these casts come there. It's not about that. It's about showing the fandom, the audience, the comic book fans, the DC fans, like, look, we have things in the pipeline for you. for you. And that's where the problem is right now. That's why when Supergirl bombs like it just did, that's why there's so much panic online, because people are like, oh God, what's next? What's next? What's next? That's the panic. Whereas if they had a lineup of things like, okay, Supergirl bomb, but man, I'm looking forward to this movie, or man, I'm looking forward to this. And that can help alleviate the stress from a bad movie. So yeah, again, it does cost money to go to San Diego Comic-Con. Absolutely. It costs nothing to throw something up on the internet, sure. But when you go to that Hall H, when you go to that panel and you have the fans there, that excitement is electrifying, even through the computer screen, even throughout the entire country, the entire world. When you see replays of that and the fans are screaming and excited, that is like something that hypes up everybody else even more. So I think it is something they need to consider doing next year if they're not considering it, they need to. But then again, who knows anymore? I mean, it's just one of those things. It's like they need to focus on hyping up the fan base. They sit there and talk a big game about, look, we need to get the fans on board and excited again. We need to get the fans to trust us. They're not doing anything to get us to trust them right now. And that's the problem. I trust James Gunn. I trust him, and I believe that he's a good writer. I think he's going to do a good job in this role. But I want to see it succeed. And it's not just me that's going to make it succeed. It's not just you. It's the audience as a whole. So they need to do things that's going to get all of the audience excited. Not just me, not just you, not just a few DC fans, but the larger audience. And they're not doing that.
Yeah. And the people that don't care about comics, that just like superhero movies, and they go to see the movies and they don't need to know all the details before the movie. The other thing, Donovan, I saw you mentioned something about Lanterns and viewership. I do think a lot of people are going to watch Lanterns 100%, but don't think for a second the Lanterns viewership is going to hold a candle to Superman or even Man of Tomorrow. It's a TV show versus a movie. That's just the way these things go. And that doesn't mean that Lanterns failed. That's just like, that's how the numbers work on these things. And Hungry Almighty, 100%. And I know Hungry Almighty's got like a one-track mind when it comes to the DCU. And you know what? DC should fucking take a note from him, because he's right. If they went and just announced Brave and the Bold, like, that's the one thing that could bring them the kind of hype they really need right now.
Yeah. You're right. And then Donovan says, I don't expect DC Studios doing a full Marvel-sized slate for Comic-Con anytime soon, and that's a problem. I'm sorry. Look, I'm going to be real, and that is a problem. That is a problem because this universe can't just be for me, for people like me. It needs to be for a large audience and a large group of people who don't watch and don't follow things as closely as we do. San Diego Comic-Con is huge. That information, that news gets out like crazy. When anything is shown, it's plastered all over the internet. People talk about it. That's why it's so important, such an important thing. James Gunn posting the script for Man of Tomorrow, the front of the script for Man of Tomorrow, that was big, sure. And people talked about it, but it didn't get the same excitement as, again, when you have a crowd and they're all excited and there's people screaming and yelling, and yeah, this is all, it's a different type of feeling. It really is.
And the slate is part of the problem right now. Like, there's a lot of people that are like, you know what? I don't really care about Jimmy Olsen and Gorilla Garage show. Personally, listen, I think it's actually going to be cool. I think it's going to be innovative. It's going to be something completely different for the genre. I actually do think it's going to be cool. But I understand when people are like, there's so many like big characters. Why aren't we seeing them? And I get that they didn't want to start with Batman. You can't get everyone to care about all the other characters if you start out with Batman. Then people are not, but Donovan, we've waited for Batman. We've been waiting for a while. Like we talked about this last week. The slate in DCU was initially announced in 2022. We don't, Batman Brave and the Bold, it might come in 2028. It might come in 2029. We don't really know. When another person commented something on my Twitter the other day, and he was like, it really pisses me off how all these haters hate on Supergirl. And I'm like, you can't blame people for losing confidence when there's a failure of that big of a significance. Loss of confidence is the natural reaction from failure. It's literally textbook. So you can't blame people. Yes, are there people that always wanted Supergirl to fail? Absolutely. But that's not all the people that didn't like Supergirl. I know a lot of people who are big James Gunn guys, and they will say that I was disappointed by Supergirl. So, we got to be honest about it. I always will be. But if you're going to comment on this stuff, I think it's a fair expectation that, you keep it real and are honest.
Yeah. And Donovan, you say it's not about what they want, it's about what they need. Look, I am a believer that the studios can't give the fans what they want. Like that's an impossible task. But what they need? Because the studio doesn't know what they need, and nobody knows what the fans need. It comes down to just making the right decisions. It's what the studio needs to do. They need to make the right decisions and read the audience and know, okay, they want this, so we got to work towards that or get to that. And I know you said they're trying something different. I get that. And they can still try something different, but they need to gain the confidence of the public back, and they're just not doing it. And it's going to cause it to fail. And I would rather them succeed and maybe doing something similar to the way Marvel does it right now to get that success, having an SDCC panel where they announce things like Marvel does and things like that, rather than them fail completely because the audience isn't getting behind it. And then we have no DC franchise, no DC universe or anything like that. So for me, hey, yes, continue doing different things, trying different types of stories and doing, just the wackiness that James Gunn likes to do. Sure. But when it comes down to it, people expect Comic-Con to be an announcement time, and we've not, for 4 years, have had nothing, basically nothing when it comes to DC. And I know you say bring back DC fandom. That was cool. It was I understood why they did it in 2020 because of the pandemic. Since then, the second one was a huge letdown, and I don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it to do another one. I think
it was a letdown because of the slate at the time in the second one. But Donovan, listen, I used to do a podcast and with someone else, and whenever we talked Marvel, he would always just want to defend Marvel whenever I was critical of anything about Marvel, and it actually drove me crazy. And I think that there's a reaction from people sometimes when it comes to stuff like this, and it's like, instead of wanting James Gunn and DC Studios to level up for the betterment of the DCU and the fans, some people would rather just defend James Gunn and want you to lay off of him and let him lower the bar while you defend him. And I don't think that's fair. I think it's I think that as fans, we're allowed to have high standards. We're allowed to want to raise the bar. This is the DCU. Like, James Gunn stepped into a big role, and he basically got a big promotion from being a really hot director to being a studio head / director. And they're big shoes to fill, but he's got to deliver. He took a big job.
Yeah, it is.
I'm going to be devil's advocate here. I almost completely agree with Donovan here.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. We've had Batman done nothing but shove down our throats.
But I'm not sitting here talking about Batman. I'm sitting here talking about everything else. Like, there's so much more than just Batman. Like,
Well, that's what
I know I want to see Batman, but there's so much more to DC than just Batman and Superman. And we have nothing. We have a Clayface, and then we have another Superman movie. We have Lanterns, which is great, and I'm excited to see all these things. But we have like no idea about anything coming. And again, I don't care if it's Batman, but give us like, hey, audience, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing, because I can tell you now, if someone like me is a little disappointed and like, man, I wish I knew more what was coming out, the general audience has no fucking idea what's going on and couldn't care less about Clayface because it's not leading anywhere because I don't know of anything coming. Like things like that. Like, that's the problem. That's the problem.
By the way, some people are starting to theorize that they're not actually building towards the Justice League, and they're building towards the Justice League International, based on the roster. And, it kind of makes sense. Like, I'm not saying it's what I would want, but I do think it is very James Gunn, and I think it's very much in line with the roster. I mean, Martian Manhunter, Booster Gold, Guy Gardner, Black Canary, obviously some of these, but like Captain Atom, Rocket Red, some of these people we've already seen. Some of them have been announced, and some could be in other shows. And I happen to be a really big fan of Booster Gold and Ted Kord. They're best friends, if you didn't know. But listen, there's a lot of other great DC characters other than Batman, but Batman would solve a lot of problems very quickly.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong. And just to let you know, guys, thanks to ChatGPT, we got to love our AI here. It cost anywhere between $1 and $3 million for a typical major movie studio Hall H presentation. $1 to $3 million. That is a drop in the bucket. A drop in the bucket for a studio that spends almost $300 million making movies. Just think about that. Like, it can cost as low as $1 million, maybe even less if they did what I said. We're talking about a typical Hall H panel, and a typical one has many cast members, a host, it has a bunch of stuff. That's a typical one. If you do one like I said, you have one actor, and then the two studio heads who shouldn't even get paid for being there to begin with. And that's going to save you a lot of money. So sure, it costs a lot of money in normal people, but to a studio, $1 million is nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. It's nothing.
What do you mean, Bob? We're all trillionaires here.
It's because we're on YouTube. That's right. We're rich because we're on YouTube.
Millionaires, man.
Everyone said they had problems with billionaires, so we decided to become trillionaires.
Yeah, we're richer than we actually murdered Elon and the top 10 richest people.
Yeah.
All right.
But I mean, I'll circle back here. I don't think Batman's necessary, but I think like you said, seeing more things, like you can get Wonder Woman, Martian Manhunter. You don't have to have Batman necessarily.
I mean, Batman's important to get. I mean, we have to get to him.
Well, but that's the end game. But
you walk into any comic shop right now, and you go to the DC rack, and half the books on the shelf are Batman. There's a reason for that. Batman is the only DC property that is tried and true, where every time they put out a Batman movie, it is wildly successful. No other DC character has that. So you could say a lot of things, but that's why I think the Ellisons might be the best thing for DC, because the Ellisons are going to force DC to think more about money. And I think, you have to think about money. There's a reason capitalism works, right? It's because when you think about money, that's how you succeed, and that's how you make good product. You're forced to make good product when you're thinking about profit. If you're not thinking about profit, you get to do whatever you want and not worry if the movie fails, and that's a problem.
And this is a great segue to the next topic that I want to talk about here quickly. Is
it's a rumor. Being devil's advocate, you guys just start yelling and get all riled up, and I'm like, no.
There's a rumor that from Jeff Snyder that a Poison Ivy series is reportedly in development at DC Studios with within Matt Reeves' Batman universe. Look, Jeff Snyder is not extremely reliable when it comes to scoops. The reason why I want to bring this up is because I am like 90-ish% sure that we're not going to have the Matt Reeves Batman universe after Batman Part 2. I don't think we are. I think that when Paramount officially takes over, they're going to sit down and say, look, we need to focus on one or the other. We can't be spending money on both. And because it's a waste of money. Like I said, when this all happened, when they created DC Studios, I said the thing I said they need to do is they should just cancel everything, scrap everything, and focus on the DCU solely. Not talking like the animation. That's a little bit different. You know, animation and comics are different. But everything else needed to be just canned, canceled, shifted, put to the side, thrown out, because they needed to put all their resources, their money, their focus, their resources into one thing, the DCU. Let that build up for a few years, get the confidence in the public, get some money flowing in, and then you start doing those fun little Elseworld projects. That's how they should have done it. I think that's what Paramount's going to do when they come in. David Ellison's going to come in, and I think that's what he's going to tell them. That's going to be the directive.
Yeah.
So I don't think this is ever going to happen.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
I personally would love this. I'm a big fan of Poison Ivy. I've been a fan of her ever since 1997. Uma Thurman. I thought she was so hot, you know, and I always had, and since that movie, I've had a thing for redheads. But, you know, if this is true, it does mean that Poison Ivy is going to be in the Batman Part 2. However, it doesn't make any sense because the whole thing about the Batman is that it's realistic, and this is one of the most unrealistic characters in Batman's world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what can you do, right? What can you do? But guys, let us know your thoughts about all that. I am going to pull up one more. Oh, no, stop being dumb.
But no, I would love to see Poison Ivy in the DCU. That would be great. I mean, I think she's the spark for a lot of dudes being attracted to redheads, personally.
As long as they let her be hot, because if they do what they did to Tomb Raider and are like, oh, no, you can't have a hot Poison Ivy. We got to make her ugly and have blue hair or any of that stupid shit, I'll be pissed.
Yeah. But, I mean, she's an interesting enough character to carry a TV show. Wholeheartedly.
Okay, they might be able to hear you, so I'm going to mute you guys for a moment.
No.
Or just don't talk.
Wait. Yeah, and you know, it's kind of interesting. As I listen to that voice, Tom, Brittany, I think that you could play someone else in the world of very strong characters. You know?
I mean, yeah.
Did you ever, like, this is
what the hell is she doing?
Batman, you know what I'm talking about.
Who?
Batman.
This crazy rumor.
Well, Google yourself, Tom.
Okay, he's not a poker player. Then I'll Google myself.
Okay, well, you don't want to say anything about right now?
No, I know nothing. Just lovely, wonderful rumors.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that moment there where he goes, I know nothing. Lovely, wonderful rumors.
He's like, stop.
What do you guys think? Do you think he's just playing coy? Do you think he is in the running, or at least is he the Batman, or at least in the running? What do you think?
You know, I think he might be, but the big factor here that a lot of people are overlooking is that he was on, I don't know the name of the show or movie, but he was actually on Good Day New York to promote an MGM property. So unless this was set up by his agent, which is possible, but it was also probably set up by MGM and Amazon to promote their own property, meaning that question wouldn't have been pre-planned. He might probably didn't know about it. I think I think that every actor whose name is in the running and people are fan casting on Twitter every day, it's in their best interest to take as much hype and name recognition as they could possibly get. And it's very possible that he was just there to promote the MGM thing. And she asked a question that she knew was going to get hype, and he's not Batman.
No, because he's James Bond.
I mean, if it wasn't that, he's very good at being the school. Stop it! Stop! Quit! I know I'm not Batman. You know,
the Andrew Garfield of it all.
yeah, like
No, I'm not in No Way Home. I'm not.
No, not me. No, that's my
No.
twin, yo.
Yeah, but it's interesting for sure. I really don't know what to think anymore about Batman because I'm like I said, I'm above 90% sure that he's going to pop up in Man of Tomorrow. I just yeah, I don't know.
Have you heard something, or you just think that he is going to pop up there?
I haven't heard anything. I've reached out to a couple of the people that I've talked to in the past and heard some stuff in the past, but nobody has been able to confirm nor deny it. So I'm not taking that as yes or no. I'm just kind of like, hey, I'm thinking he is, but I'm sure they'll tell me probably. Like if they find out, I know they'll tell me. Just like I found out about other stuff, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Because I thought I was for sure. I thought he was going to pop up. I thought that they filmed something that he was going to pop up in Superman. I really thought they were going to do that, but they didn't. So, all right.
What you don't know is him and Wonder Woman are in Man of Tomorrow, but it's a really shitty remaking of BVS. That's what it is.
Makes sense. All right. This is interesting. John Campea says that he heard some not so great things about Doomsday, and it's not working out.
Told yesterday, again, by somebody connected to the situation, was that they were struggling because they weren't finding it in the edit. That apparently, like when they shot the movie, everything felt great, everything looks great, and now that they're in the editing room and putting the movie together, that they're discovering some issues. Now, besides the fact that I don't want to just get accused of just trying to get clicks for why I'm not segmenting this out, I did finally get a hold of somebody else with some knowledge of the situation. And when I presented them with what I got told by the first person, they just simply said in a very, very short text, I'm just going to read it verbatim here. Okay. This is what they wrote back to me. That's not what I heard. And this is somebody who's connected to the situation. So again, I had one person tell me that there are some struggles going on with the movie, that now that they have it in the edit room, they're finding some problems and that it's problematic and blah, 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 blah. But that was only, and then the other person I finally got in touch with yesterday just simply replied to me, that's not what I heard. So one of the other reasons, besides the fact that I don't want to get accused of just trying to get clicks, is the fact that I've got two different stories coming at me. Like when I mentioned it on the show yesterday, I had only heard from one person. I've now heard from another person who's saying that they didn't hear that. So it could very well not be true at all. That's one of the other reasons I'm not making a headline out of this and why I'm not making its own standalone video out of this, because I don't want to be spreading misinformation or anything like that. But
what do you think, Jerry? You're the big Marvel guy here. What are you thinking?
So, listen, when you think about the superhero comic book movie genre, the first thing you probably think of are the Avengers. I would even say that the genre lives and dies with the Avengers. Post Avengers Endgame, that's when we started hearing about superhero fatigue. And now that the Avengers are about to come back, people are hyped about the genre again. Now,
yeah,
if Avengers Doomsday fails, it might be the biggest death blow the genre will ever have. I don't know if it will ever return to 2015 to 2020 level hype and box office again if Avengers Doomsday fails. Now, I want to say something about not finding it in the edit, because I listened to the whole thing earlier with John Campea, and he said he's never heard that. He doesn't really know what it means. What it sounds like to me is they went and shot the footage and now they're trying to put it together in the edit, and they're like not really feeling it. And he said he heard that from one person, and the other person just said, that's not what I heard. I can't imagine. So, I mean, unless someone made it up, but I don't think he would say that if he didn't get it from someone who he trusts. John Campea is credible. I watch him regularly. Like, he's credible. He's not full of shit. It could be a serious problem. And think about it this way. If we do come to December and this movie comes out and it sucks, first of all, I still think it's going to do $1 billion, even if it isn't great, because the opening weekend is going to be crazy and whatever. But if it's not a good movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day is looking like it's going to be amazing. Lanterns will probably be a win for DC. Clayface will probably be a win, but it's, Clayface is not going to be a blockbuster success. It's a, more of an artsy niche movie. But if DC has the Supergirl flop that they had and Marvel has Avengers Doomsday, this is going to take a lot of momentum from the genre. And I would hate to see that. I care about this genre so much. I live and breathe comic books. I would be so upset. Aside from the fact of how excited I am for this fucking movie, and Doctor Doom is my all-time favorite comic character, and I just want it to be amazing. Like, I don't think I could overstate how detrimental this could be for the genre we all love.
I feel like the guy who said I didn't see that, I don't feel that, is the guy doing Damage Control. He's like, yeah, we don't want this shit to come out. We don't care if we're not feeling it. That we don't want it to come out at all. Like, no bad publicity. No bad publicity. No publicity is good publicity at this point.
I've had a suspicion for quite some time myself that this movie was going to have issues. I even think Secret Wars is going to have some issues because there was no planning to get to this point at all. There was zero planning. And this is them trying to fix the mistakes of the last 7 years. Now, that's not to say that I didn't think that this movie was not going to be successful, that it wasn't going to break records. It is. Like I've said in the past, the Avengers moniker, that you make money. Like, putting an Avengers title on a movie, you immediately make $500 million, hands down. Maybe even $1 billion at this point, who knows? But you're going to make a shit ton of money no matter what, just because it says Avengers on there. And then you have the promise of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and Chris Hemsworth. You have them in there as well. But then you have the member berries with the old X-Men in it as well. Like, there's so much that's going for this movie that's going to guarantee that it gets a shit ton of money, that I was worrying from the moment that Robert Downey Jr. put his arms out on stage, taking the mask off, that they were going to care too much about fan service than the story. And I have a feeling that is what the issue is in the editing room. I think that's going to be the problem, because they had all these ideas, all these cool thoughts and plans. But when you try to put together a cohesive story that's fluid and can fit into like a 3.5 hour long film, I bet you it starts to fall apart. And that's going to be upsetting. And I think, we may have another Age of Ultron on our hands. I know some people love Age of Ultron. I don't know why. I think it's pretty bad. But when you take a look at all the Avengers movies, it's definitely the weakest. And I think it's very possible that this could become that in a way. The problem is the fans won't let it. The fans won't let it be that, because, like I said, you're going to have those nostalgia bites in there with the old X-Men, and people are going to be like, it's an awesome movie because of X-Men, because this is Patrick Stewart's last movie, or it's because of this or because of that. And that's what people are going to say, just like they said that with No Way Home, or just like they said with Deadpool and Wolverine, or just, when you bring these movies in and you throw in these 10, 20, 15 year long characters and actors that played roles before, people just ignore the issues with the movie, because they're like, my favorite version of the characters in the movie, let's go. And that's what they love. And that's what I think is going to happen. But if you sit back and start to take a look at it, like you take a look at Deadpool and Wolverine, I enjoy the hell out of that movie, but I sit back and I'm like, this is not a good movie.
Yeah.
You know, like I enjoy the hell out of it, but it's not a good movie. So like that's again, like that's how people need to look. You know, I don't say they have to, but that's kind of the way I look at it is like, you know, it's. I think this movie is going to struggle because they cared about fan service more than anything because they lost the fans over the last 7 years and they want to bring them back. So the best way to do that is to just give them as much fan service as possible. And that's my worry. And I felt that from the moment Robert Downey Jr. was unveiled as Doom. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I agree. That casting was fan service. That was, oh shit. Everybody loved him as Iron Man. Bring him back. Please. Please.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't understand. I mean, Doom will carry it, but I don't understand how we're getting a team up with no team or build up at all.
that's exactly how I felt for the longest time. And, you know, again, it's something I used to always mention on the old pod is like, we never really had a proper build up to these movies. And the crazy thing is when you look at the comics in the 2015 Secret Wars, you know, the comic run that led up to it was massive. I mean, it was like 60 plus comic issues of, you know, and the build up now, they're like, oh, well, we're, you know, going to connect Avengers Endgame. The ending of Endgame is going to connect to this. So what? You couldn't make any of the movies that you did post Endgame be what's going to connect you to fucking Avengers Doomsday? It's ridiculous. And, you know, listen, I do think like I hate cameo gimmicks. I really do. But you know, when you think about Secret Wars and that comic run that led up to Secret Wars, there were a lot of it's a multiverse story. So there are other universes with other characters and you could make that work. But the second I heard the Fox X-Men, I just knew like, I just didn't think they were doing it like that. And I think that could be, I think Slav might have hit the nail on the head there.
Yeah.
No.
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts in the comments, guys. Love to hear what you have to say about all this. Moving on.
I'll probably be the only person on this podcast not really hoping, but kind of looking forward to the fall of video game movie or of comic book movies, because that means we get video game movies that don't suck.
Yeah.
They're making a Fallout movie?
No, I mean just video games in general.
Oh, okay.
I would love to see a Fallout movie, but I think the show's doing pretty okay.
Yeah, the show's pretty good.
So, Asha Sharma, the head of Microsoft Gaming or Xbox, this week announced a slew of employee cuts, 1,600 staff to be exact, from Xbox, with another 1,600 to go over the course of the next 12 months. 4 studios have left Microsoft as part of the restructure, which Asha Sharma has called the most significant in Xbox history. Now, she did explain the cuts. She said Sharma admitted that Microsoft's gaming strategy had failed, and a key part of that failure had to do with Game Pass. Was it on this podcast a few weeks back where I said that was the problem, that they put too much? It may have been on another show. I don't know. They went too hard with Game Pass. That's where Phil Spencer, the former head of Xbox, failed. He went too hard on Game Pass, and that's what failed. They lost the hardware battle, the war on hardware. And instead of saying, you know what, let's just let Sony win. No, like what makes the market better. There we go. The market better is competition. And when Xbox basically was like, I'm going to bow out of the hardware and just focus on Game Pass, that really sucked. Like it hurt the industry more than it helped. Sure, it boosted PlayStation a bit, but yeah, I mean, Microsoft, it really hurt them because they were like, hey, let's go spend billions and billions and billions of dollars on these studios so we can put all these games on Game Pass and then hike up the price of Game Pass. And everybody was like, yeah, fuck that. I don't want Game Pass anymore. Like, that's too much money. Yeah. You know, like it was just one bad decision after another. with Game Pass. And what started off as a really cool perk with Xbox Live, like 10 years ago, turned into this, man, another subscription that just has way too much that I'm never going to touch, that honestly, why do I even have it? And that's really what it became. And yeah, I still believe that a Game Pass model can work. I mean, you take a look at what they've done with Steam. Steam, is fantastic. Now that's not a Game Pass. It's not a monthly subscription type of service, but that's what they were trying to replicate, but have it where they made money every month. I think that there's like a nice in between there. I do. I think there's a nice in between what Steam is and what Game Pass was. And I think they have to find it. But obviously there was a lot more to it than just that caused all this to happen with Xbox, them having to lay off nearly 4,000 people over 12 months and get rid of studios and things like that. But for you guys, what are you thinking? I'm going to start with Colton here. What do you think about all this?
It's not surprising at all. I mean, you don't spend all that money and get no return at all. Like where you are there, where they needed to hit 77 million and only hit 30 million. That it was a flop. There was no getting around it. And I don't know if it was this article. I read a couple articles on this that they lost like $300 million because Call of Duty was on Game Pass and no one bought the game. So it's like instead of shooting yourself in the foot, you just grabbed a chainsaw and just cut the leg off completely. So I and it's a shame that what is her name? Sharma's going to get blamed for all this, but none of this was really her problem or her fault. It's just
honestly, I don't think Sharma's been getting blamed for it. I think she's handled it relatively well. Look, there's people going to throw blame at Sharma, but
yeah,
I think when you get down to it, you actually read and you're again just taking all the information. You realize that this falls more on Phil Spencer and the leadership that was there prior to this. And they've even restructured so much. I think wasn't she saying like there is like leadership in like the 30s for some people, like you would have to report to like 30 people or something like that in some areas, but they've cut it down where at most there's a tree of 5 people. Like that's what they're doing. She's going in there and fixing it because it just got out of hand. And maybe Phil Spencer was in over his head and his baby was Game Pass, because he built that from the ground up when he took over back in 2014 or 13 or something
like that.
15, I don't know, but like that was kind of his baby, was Game Pass. Like he created that. So again, like, and you see that with companies, especially with tech companies, like the person in charge before had their little pet projects. When the next person comes in, they're like, yeah, that pet project was shitty and it failed, so we're doing a new one. So
which, I mean, that's just bureaucracy. I mean, she just thinned out the paperwork really, but I don't think this is going to be harmful short term, because I read a report that Bethesda's like, we can't churn out Elder Scrolls 6 in this century.
No, I think it was like another 2 to 3 years away.
Yeah, but they're complaining because like half the staff's gone. It's like, well, this game, Skyrim came out 2010, something around there.
Yeah.
It's been 14 years. Come on.
Yeah,
come on. So I think this is going to help not only Xbox, but the whole industry. Because let's face it, Sony doesn't have any competition. Nintendo's not doing shit. Let's be honest about it. No. Steam's just selling games that everybody else makes. Microsoft's really the only competition in the game.
Until we get Half-Life 3,
Valve doesn't make trequel or the third. They don't believe in the number 3. You'll see 4 before you see 3. They'll do the Kingdom Hearts thing where they just you'll have 1, 2, and then a 15-year gap, but you'll have 17 games. It's like 2.5734.
Half-Life Pi. Wait, no, you can't, because that's a 3. Damn it, Half-Life Squared.
It's good. It's very dated, but it's good.
It's dated, yeah. Both of them, 1 and 2, are very dated, but you probably enjoy it.
I haven't played Alex on the Oculus yet, but that's the newest.
I heard the Oculus is cool.
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's a lot better than the PlayStation VR.
Yeah,
actually, I don't even think I took that out.
You got anything to say about this, Jerry?
It obviously sad when there are layoffs, but I agree. I think she handled it well, and she also said that there were a lot of layers of management, like how there were like 10 or 15 people when there really should just be 3 or 5, and but other than that, I think you guys covered it well.
Yeah. And the one thing I forgot to pull this up until now, they were using the profits from Minecraft to fund the Xbox business.
Wow.
Now, we know Minecraft is like the most successful video game of all time. But yes, they had to utilize the profits. So all those little microtransactions your kids are doing on Minecraft, well, they were supporting the entire Xbox business.
Which is crazy to think that one game just kept the whole business afloat. That's insane.
Imagine if they didn't buy that. Imagine if they didn't buy Mojang or whatever the heck that company's called. Like, imagine that, man. Like, that would have there'd be no Xbox right now.
There wouldn't be Game Pass. It would be either no Xbox or no Game Pass.
Yeah. And then final thing for gaming is this here. We got Don't Kill the Disc. Independent retailer launches petition calling on PlayStation to keep physical games. And it gets over 115,000 signatures. We are against digital being the only option. An independent retailer has launched a petition. I just said that. A Canadian independent video games retailer. How many times do you have to tell me it's a video game retailer? Launched the change.org petition asking fans to join it in telling Sony to keep physical PlayStation games. At the time of this article's publication, the petition had 115,471 signatures. Sony sparked significant backlash last week because they said that they're getting away from those things. I guess KFC is too, and so is Domino's, and they were criticized by people like KFC and Domino's on social media. I don't know if you saw them, but they were posting things like get your pizza physical and stuff like that. So they were having fun with it. I wonder, is this the link to it? Let's see. Yeah, it's up to 267,000 signatures now. I should probably change this banner. What do you guys think? You guys gonna sign it?
I mean, I probably will, but I've seen people are also canceling their GTA 6 pre-orders because there's no physical disc.
That's ridiculous.
Like, I was thinking about it earlier. I'd sign it, but I don't really care that much. Like, I have a digital PS5. The industry is going to go digital. There's no stopping it.
I just doxed myself on this.
Good job.
Xbox is going to do it. Nintendo will probably do it. Like, there is no stopping it. But what I was thinking about before is all the people who are canceling their GTA 6, canceling their PlayStation Plus. Do you think they're going to hold out forever and like not buy a PlayStation 7 or 6 when it comes out? Like, do you really think they're going to hold out forever and be anti-PlayStation forever? Or do you think they'll just like get over it?
Yeah, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket to Sony. There's people that are going to buy it regardless. They don't care.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's like, well, I don't like Microsoft, even though 90% of the games are cross-play and you're only really playing for 2 or 3 games. But I guess I'll play Microsoft. And then they'll just go back to Sony because they don't like Microsoft for whatever reason.
Right.
Yeah.
And to be honest, people are going to buy GTA 6. They're just not going to pre-order it. Like that's the reality of that.
Right. Well, I mean,
and they're all going to get mad when they don't pre-order it, and then the day that it comes out, they're all going to be sitting there trying to download it, and it's going to crash, and they're not going to be able to download it.
Exactly. So it's like, well, just download, just pre-order it, just get it out of the way.
All right, moving on up. Absolute Batman.
Oh, so yeah, so absolute Batman.
We're gonna get some theme music for Comics Cuts here. We're gonna do it.
We are going to do it.
Little jingle.
So absolute Batman is really taking the comics world by storm. I mean, it's selling hundreds of thousands of copies every single issue. It's crazy. But one of the really big things is what they've been doing with Joker. And they've been like dripping different revelations like every issue. And you know, I don't know if you guys are reading it or whatever, but basically, Joker is this character Jack Grimm, and Jack Grimm has the Jack Grimm manner. He has an Alfred. He dresses like Bruce Wayne. He's super rich. Like he's basically like Bruce Wayne. It's crazy. But you know, Arkham, which is like Arkham, they could just call it Ark-M. Ark-M. So this is Harley Quinn, and this issue is really all about Harley Quinn. But Harley Quinn was working with Batman, and Harley Quinn's mom ended up being not only the like head of Arkham, but she was married to Jack Grimm. And so Harley Quinn's parents are the head of Arkham and Jack Grimm, but she didn't know, and she found that out, and you like towards the end of the issue, you kind of found it out with her. But the crazy thing was, and this part I don't really like, but I feel like it's going to end up being really cool anyway, that Jack Grimm basically said that there are hundreds of him. So he is just like, you know, an avatar here, an avatar there, kind of like the agents in Matrix, if that makes sense. So yeah, it was really cool, you know, but yeah, I love this book. I mean, this book is absolutely incredible, and the amount of hype and attention it's brought the comic book industry is like, I mean, it's like God's gift to the industry. It's really crazy.
So Jerry, I have a question for you. Since we're talking about comics now, since I'm going on vacation, I'll have nothing to do on the beach. Give me a list of comics to read.
I absolutely will, and I will. Give me. Are there any like prerequisites you have of what kind of comics or stories? All right, I'll send you a list, and not only will I send you a list, but I will tell you exactly where you could read them. Do you have like an iPad or anything?
I have an iPad, MacBook, my phone.
Yeah, the iPad is perfect. I read all my comics on iPad, so I got you.
All right, yeah, cool. Because I'm gonna have nothing to do. Nicole's got her Kindle, so I'm like, I should probably bring a book to look somewhat cool.
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna give you the best comics. You're gonna fucking fall in love with comics.
Everybody's gonna be getting up to leave, and I'll be like, "No, hold on, I got 5 issues left. Leave me alone."
That's the story of my life.
All right. Did you have any other comic stuff that you want to talk about?
That's pretty much it. It was pretty light week this week on comics.
Yeah, and I unfortunately do not have a game. Did you guys have your list of movies or no?
I have mine somewhere.
Yeah, I got it. Let me see mine.
This is very professional of us to just
hurry
up and immediately all of us get on our phones.
I'm not on my phone.
I am. No, I have mine. I actually have 5. No, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5.
I said 7.
I have 5 runner-ups. I almost have a second list.
All right. So I'll let Jared, you have yours?
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go first.
Number 1, Avengers Doomsday. Number 2, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Number 3, the Odyssey. Dune Part 3. Number 4, The Odyssey. So I got 4, and I would say where it's not on my list. Clayface, and that's probably it. I don't even think I have a 6 and 7. Sorry,
loser.
Wow. Wow.
What do you got, Colton?
All right, number 1, I have The Odyssey. Number 2, Werewolf or Warwolf.
I don't know. It's Werewolf.
Okay, that. 3, Evil Dead Burn. 4.
Hey, that's out. That's out already. That came out today.
No, it comes out tomorrow.
Whatever.
It still counts. Number 4, Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Number 5, Resident Evil. Number 6, Street Fighter, and number 7, Clayface.
Nice.
I mean, do you want me to go 8 through 12?
Well, no, we're gonna have a discussion here in a moment. Don't worry. For me, and this isn't in any particular order, the End of Oak Street, I think looks like it could be so much fun. I just think it's going to be, I don't know. I'm a big Ewan McGregor fan also, so I'm all for that. Obviously, Spider-Man Brand New Day. Who's not excited about that? Who's not excited about Avengers Doomsday? You know, I mean, come on. Like, you got to be excited about those things. Do I want to see The Odyssey? Yes. Am I overly excited about it? I don't know. Like, I debated not putting it on my list, and I put it on there just because there's not like a shit ton of movies I want to see the rest of the year, so that's kind of why it's there. Then I also have the Digger movie with Tom Cruise in it.
I want to see that.
No, that's.
Okay,
I mean,
I'm a big Tom Cruise fan. I mean, I've been a Tom Cruise fan since I was a kid, so I'm all for that. The Paw Patrol movie. No, I'm just kidding.
Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, besides that, I've pretty much at that point, like, I want to see Werewolf. I still have yet to see Nosferatu, so like, I want to see Nosferatu before not that. I don't even know if they're connected at all, but I still want to see that. There is a new Resident Evil coming out that I'm interested in seeing, so I guess I put that on there. Clayface, I can't forget about Clayface. I am excited about that. So, I mean, I probably hit my 7 or 8 there, but again, I think the first 5 are kind of the big ones that are coming out that I think a lot of us, we are all in agreement of. But my question to you, what do you think is going to be your favorite of the rest of the year? What do you think when it's December 31st and you sit back and you say, man, this is a year for movies I can't believe I saw? What is it going to be? So, Colton, what is it going to be for you?
Ice Cream Man. So remember that Nicolas Cage movie that came out where all the parents wanted to kill their kids?
Mom and Dad, love that
Yeah.
movie. Oh man,
So-
that's one of my guilty pleasures.
Ice
seen it,
Cream
like-
Man is literally the reverse, where the ice cream man's giving these kids like narcotics or something in ice cream, and they're killing their parents.
Look, the best thing, Jerry, have you ever seen Mom and Dad?
No.
Okay. So
It's fantastic.
First off, it's played like a serious thriller film, like dead serious, okay? But they don't explain anything. It's just all of a sudden the parents in this town, in this city, start killing all their children. They just start killing the kids. But my favorite part in this movie is Nicolas Cage is trying to get to his kids in the house, and they lock themselves. I think they locked themselves in the basement, and he goes and grabs a sawzall. And he goes, sawzall, sawzall, sawzall. Great Nicolas Cage, like, he's just nuts. But yeah, it's wild. Like, it's one of those movies. Like, I sat there and I watched the first time. Did we watch it together? I can't remember. But
No, I don't think we did.
I watched and I was like, this is really stupid, but I'm kind of into it. And then I watched it again, and it's just one of those movies that I can't help but watch and just laugh the whole time. You have to see it. It's great.
Yeah. No, I definitely need to see that. That sounds great. I love Nicolas Cage too. I feel like we all grew up on him. Like, how could you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Con Air.
Oh, heck yeah, Con Air.
Not? So good.
But
I'm
realistically, I'm gonna say Madden.
I forgot about Madden. That's this year.
Yeah, that's the end of this year. It's in like
Oh, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, see, I did my homework. That's why I have a long ass list, because there's
Yeah.
actually some good movies coming out towards the
I
end of this
completely
year.
forgot about that. Yeah. But no, speaking of Nicolas Cage, yeah, that makes sense. For you, Jerry, what's the one movie you think you're gonna look back on this year? Like, yeah.
I really want to say Doomsday, but after today, I have to say Spider-Man Brand New Day. You know? Oh man. I think Spider-Man Brand New Day looks like it's going to be absolutely amazing. Where we also haven't really seen anything from Avengers Doomsday yet. And that report from today is, making me have some caution.
Yeah, I buy that.
You know, it's
I am
another
a
one
little.
I'm disappointed you didn't say, Bob, because
What?
you were hyped about this Street Fighter.
Look, I'm interested in seeing Street Fighter. I still haven't seen Mortal Kombat 2 yet, but like I want to see it. I think it looks like it's gonna be just a wild ride, but I don't think it's gonna be like holy shit. Like it is not one of my most anticipated movies of the year, but I'm definitely gonna see it. I just don't. I've never been a big Street Fighter fan. I just think this looks better than Mortal Kombat. I do. I think it looks because I think it's staying true to the um what the game is. Where Mortal Kombat, especially the first one, the one that came out in what 2020 or 2021, that was not anything.
Yeah, that was just a fighting movie with the Mortal Kombat title.
I haven't seen the new one yet, so I don't know if they got any better. But yeah, nobody said Jumanji. Come on, guys, what the heck?
Because they shit on that.
Nobody said Godzilla minus zero, which I'm shocked about.
You know, there was new images that got released, and it's on my list. I just know that I'm a Godzilla slut, and everybody would expect it from me.
But honestly, for me,
sorry,
I think that the movie for me that I'm going to sit back and say I can't believe we got this and we watched it and it was great. I'm really hoping for Clayface to be that movie. I really am. Like that's what I think it's going to be because it's. I've slowly gotten into this horror mindset for films lately, and it's not because I like to watch terrible films. It's because they've actually gotten better. They have gotten better, and I think Clayface could be one of those ones that I sit there and, not like a few years ago when that terrible horror film Malignant came out or Smile. Like those movies, people talk them up so much. Like these are amazing, and they are the most idiotic concepts and execution of movies ever. I think Clayface is going to be one that's like this is actually good. So that's
that is an IP that doesn't have 15 sequels, and none of them, only half of them connect to the first one. The other ones are their own universe, and then you have the one where the bad guy's the good guy, and then Predator shows up for some reason.
I think Clayface looks great. I really like the character too.
Yeah. But I think out of all these, I think Spider-Man is probably going to be the number one out of all of them. I mean, did anybody say Dune? Dune 3?
Yeah, it's also on my list.
First off, I did not like the first one. Never saw the second one. Don't plan on seeing the third one. So that's me. But
Jerry's literally just shit his pants.
Yeah. No, bro. The Dune 2 is like one of the greatest movies ever. It's so much better than the first one. Like so much better.
But but when I sit down and think about it, I think you have the Odyssey, you have Dune, you have Spider-Man, you have Avengers. Like those four kind of like these are the four big movies of the year, I think. And I think out of all four of them, I think Spider-Man is going to be the one that appeases the largest audience, that the most amount of people are happy with when it's all is said and done. Because you have those Dune diehards, like the people who love Dune are just going to live and die on the Dune hill. Take the butthole worm in the butt themselves. Like they love it that much. But when you get down to it, I think Doomsday, I think, is going to have its issues, and I've thought that even before today's report. And I think the Odyssey is going to be just your typical Christopher Nolan film where it's just a little too much. It's one of those. I think it's going to be one of those films that's just kind of like it's almost like you're pretentious if you like it. Or if you don't like it, people are going to think you're just trying to say, oh, you don't like it just because it's a Nolan film. And it's kind of like, no, like Tenet sucked, guys. Like Tenet was not good.
I'm a huge Nolan fan, but like Tenet was horrible.
So
I think it's crazy that they're making the sequel before the prequel. The Iliad comes first. Sorry.
I don't even get it.
Well, it's Homer's two great books, the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah, the Iliad and the Odyssey.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about the Odyssey.
But yeah, I think when it comes down to those four films, I think Spider-Man's going to be the one that really appeases everyone the most, and for good reason. I mean, it's Spider-Man, and everybody likes Spider-Man. And the previews I've seen, it looks like they've taken what people loved about what Andrew Garfield did and what people loved about Tobey Maguire, and even things that were great in the last trilogy, and they're kind of combining it all and putting it in this movie. So as long as it's not overly stuffed, that's the only thing I'm worried about with this movie, is it being too stuffed, because it looks like there's a lot going on here for this movie. So that's the only thing. But
you know what's going to be funny is if MJ remembers Peter from the donut shop, but doesn't remember that they dated, but she just remembers the awkward, "Hi, I'm Peter Parker," and she was like, "Hey, Peter Parker."
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man. I will say the Digger movie, I do think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's, Tom Cruise, huge Tom Cruise fan, but the trailer they showed before that, or before Supergirl, at least where I was at, it was like this whole montage of Tom Cruise movies from when he was in, Risky Business and Top Gun and Jerry Maguire and like all these different films through his whole career. And then it's just a couple scenes from Digger. so it's really interesting. I am looking forward to seeing what this is all about. So I think that'll be fun. I think that could this get him his best actor award, because he doesn't have one.
Nope, he's never gonna get it.
He's not the artsy like theater geek.
He's not. But he's not that kind of actor. But he's had some roles that he's gotten close and probably should have. Like Eyes Wide Shut. What's the other one? What's the other one? Is it Steel Magnolia? Is that it? Steel Magnolia? Is that him? No, I can't remember. I can't think of what it's called. No, that's all women. That's all women.
Steel Magnolias doesn't have a dude in the cast.
There's Vanilla Sky, but that wasn't it.
The Oscars are fake, dude. Leo DiCaprio.
I agree, but I do want to see actors that I've liked actually, get the recognition they should get.
I would like to see that too, but I think the problem is that they're fake. Like Leo DiCaprio didn't win till The Revenant. Martin Scorsese didn't win till Departed. Like they suck, bro. I hate the Oscars.
Yeah, for sure. I got to figure out what this. Let's see, Rayman. Yeah, like Rayman would have been Born on the 4th of July, Far and Away, A Few Good Men, The Firm. Like you sit there, Eyes Wide Shut, Jerry Maguire, Magnolia, just Magnolia. That's what it's called, Magnolia. I wasn't that far off.
No.
Like there's so many different movies that he's like he's been so good in that it's kind of like, man, he could win for this. But then of course he's done his Mission Impossible or his Night and Day, his Jack Reacher, his Oblivion, like The Mummy, like movies that are just like, come on, man. But what are you doing?
Right.
He just needed a new pool.
No, the Scientology needed some money. So they're like,
yeah, they got to up their security from the TikTok trend. That's all.
Yeah. Anything else that stuck out to you though, coming out that you guys are excited about to talk about with it?
Godzilla.
Yeah,
hands down.
Yeah. I think a lot of these movies are going to be really big, but like I agree. I think Spider-Man is going to be the movie that's received well by most of the people that went to see it. I still think Avengers Doomsday is going to be received well by a lot of people, but if the production issues are true, I think it could be received well at release, and then a year or two later, people might turn on it. That happens a lot lately. It happened with Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah. Again, Deadpool and Wolverine, it's a fun movie. It's just not great.
It's definitely not like a great movie, but it is like a cheap, entertaining ride.
Yeah. But and then next year, I mean, there's a good bit of films coming out next year. There's this movie called Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope. It's coming out. I don't know what that is. It's a re-release.
Yeah, that's what
I heard it's going to have incest.
It's gonna have very vague symbolism to Nazism.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Oh boy, just what our country needs to look at. But no, I mean next year is pretty packed too. I honestly think next year might be a little more fun. I mean, we get Air Bud Returns, we get
I
Ice
love
Age
Air
Boiling Point, we get Coco Melon the movie. We
See, what you're telling me is I got to work a ton of overtime for the rest of this year to see all those fire hits next year.
yeah. Oh yeah, but I mean,
Thomas
I think
Crown
next year-
Affair with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, that could be good. I mean, I do like Michael B. Jordan. I'm a big fan of his. I think it could be good. I do.
Yeah.
I think that'll be fun. We got another The Revenge of La Llorona. Ooh, didn't we have one of
Again.
those already? Yeah, didn't we do that already?
Zelda,
What'd you say?
Legend of Zelda.
Oh, that's right. That is next year, huh? That should be fun.
Yeah.
And I'm hesitant on Spaceballs 2 next year. I am hesitant on that because History of the World that they made wasn't very good. That came out on Hulu. So
But here's the thing: if Rick Moranis is coming back, I have to imagine it's good. Like,
you would think that, but when you have the writers of today writing these movies, come on.
it's a good point.
Like Mel Brooks didn't write this movie. Like Mel Brooks wrote his films back in the day. So you're talking about the original Spaceballs, History of the World, Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. And like all those movies were written by him and they had
Right.
that edge to them. Writers today are afraid to put that edge. And I'm not saying Spaceballs was all that edgy, but come on, do you think that they could get away with combing the desert, sir? Man, we ain't found shit. Like, could they get away with that today? No,
It's
they
such a
couldn't.
That's
such a funny scene.
Now I'm also cautious about Austin Powers 4, which I was so excited for. But it's the same kind of thing. Like, sucks. They totally ruined comedy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, really is. But
Nah.
hopefully it pans out.
Hopefully it's tasteful, unlike Scary Movie 6, 7, whatever they're on. That movie's fucking garbage.
That's what I heard.
It literally, like, I wrote the script in like 20 minutes before we recorded and turned it in.
Those movies used to be like, I mean, we used to always go see them when we were in school.
Yeah. No, this one's bad. I actually kind of wanted a refund, to be honest.
Boy. But yeah, I think next year should be fun as this year. And will it be as big as this year, like box office wise? Maybe not, but I think I'll have more fun watching movies next year in the theater.
Here's the
Maybe.
other thing, by the way. If they are announcing a third Avengers movie that's going to be part of the cycle with Doomsday and Secret Wars, what if Doomsday it flops in a quality standpoint, and now they have to do another movie in the whole thing? Like, that could be a problem.
So if Doomsday flops, first off, it's not going to flop financially.
No,
Well,
that's
I mean,
not
it's not going to.
quality.
But if it comes like quality wise and the reception isn't taken as like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever, they're just going to keep going forward as planned, and I think they'll just pivot again.
Yeah.
I think at this point, the whole point of Secret Wars is to have that quote unquote reset for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Once you do that, I think that allows and gives them a lot more freedom to do some different things at that point, whether it's just walking away from characters that didn't work, bringing characters back that they don't have anymore, getting new actors in these roles that maybe are aging out of certain roles, like things like that. They have a lot more freedom at that point in time. And we do know that they're going to focus more on mutants as well. And that I think is going to be a big benefit to them as long as they have good films to go around it. So
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. I agree with that. And, I'm curious, like a lot of people are talking about, oh, we need Midnight Suns. Like, they're going to have a lot on their hands having the Avengers and the X-Men at the same time. I think if they're going to be doing the X-Men, they should not be adding any characters other than the X-Men and villains. Like,
I honestly think they should do a Midnight Suns on TV.
that would be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
You do a Midnight Suns on TV. You do basically you gave Daredevil, what would they give Daredevil, like 30 episodes? I know it wasn't 30 episodes, but you gave it like 30 episodes. Just write a 30 episode story arc for Midnight Suns, put it on Disney Plus, have it set in the MCU, introduce your Blade, introduce whomever, Ghost Rider. Like, you can introduce all these paranormal, supernatural beings into this, whomever you want to, essentially, and go from there and build the supernatural side of it out on TV. Just do it. Like, there's no reason not to, because we know the supernatural's in the MCU with Doctor Strange and Wanda, so we know it's there. But just make a separate little sandbox to the side of the big sandbox, and they can cross over from time to time, but that way everybody gets their fun.
Yeah, and you could bring Moon Knight back into the Midnight Suns. Like, that would be cool. I really like Moon Knight.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the projects that Oscar Isaac did that I wasn't like annoyed by him, because he was getting as annoying as Pedro Pascal for a while there, being in everything. Not as much as Pedro, but he was popping up in a lot of things out of nowhere.
I think he was supposed to play Solid Snake in the Metal Gear movie at one point.
He was supposed to be Solid Snake.
Which, like,
yes.
That's as dumb as casting Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards.
Dude, I remember like 20 years ago it was supposed to be Kiefer Sutherland. That would have been so amazing.
That would have been amazing. He, his voice acting in the 5th game was great.
I did not. I don't think
one of the greatest games of all time. Colton, did you play that game?
You're gonna have to give me the title of it, because there's
Metal
so
Gear
many.
Solid 5.
It's called. I don't think I've played the 5th one. I've played.
The Phantom Pain. Yeah. Phantom Pain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna say there's so many different titles, and that storyline's all messy with me.
The gameplay in that game was the best Metal Gear Solid gameplay, like with the Fox engine, and you're in Afghanistan. Oh my god, dude! I used to play it all day, every day.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, they need to get how are we in 2026 and there isn't a Metal Gear movie? Like, I just like that is like prime. Like, it's action, it's espionage, it's got everything that
It's probably because
a straight male adult would love. It's
probably just hard to convert over.
Well, they have a lot of hype now.
It's not hard.
If you want to follow the storyline, it's hard, because then you make one, and then you gotta make 7 prequels, and then you gotta, and you're caught up to the first movie. And
then you gotta wonder why Solid Snake doesn't have an arm here, but has an arm here.
Yeah, like it's probably just hard.
Shrapnel in his head.
Yeah,
but
missing
they
an
have a lot
eye
of
here,
hype
not missing.
because they did the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear Solid Delta, which released last year, and a lot of people who never played a Metal Gear Solid game played that game and was like, oh my god. And now people are like getting into Metal Gear Solid again. It's the perfect time to make a movie.
Yeah, it would be. Love to see that. Hell, honestly, I think HBO should take it and do an HBO show.
Yeah,
I think a show would be great
on the budget of like Game of Thrones. And then just imagine seeing the mechs.
Imagine that, bro. That show would do generational numbers.
Exactly.
You know what? HBO, sign us up. We'll write it right now.
Look, Benioff and Weiss, when it came to them, they had no experience before doing Game of Thrones. So us three, we had no experience. Let's do it.
We have to write.
We have some experience, Bob. We wrote that one T-shirt ad like 7 years ago. What about? We can't do accents. I can't do accents, but I can write an ad.
All right, guys. I think that's it. I think we're good for today. What do you guys say?
Hey,
I think that's a good show.
Yeah,
We forgot to
we're
do
all-
the movie giveaway, but we'll do it. We can do it next week.
Yeah. Well, we need to figure out a way to do the movie giveaway.
Yeah.
So think about that. Figure out how you want to do it, and we'll do that next week. So we'll give away a digital code for a movie next week.
we can give it away now.
Give it away. Give it away. Give it away. All right, guys. Well, you can find Bridging Geekdoms at Bridge Geekdoms on the Twits. You can find me, Slav, at Slav's Free Talk on X. You can find Colton
White Ruby 53 everywhere you look.
and Jerry.
At Comics Cuts everywhere you look. I'm very active on Twitter.
So find us there. And with all that said, we'll catch you all later.